Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today we have a very special guest in the house, Prometheus from Hector DAO. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You know the guys that have hundreds of thousands percent APY. We're going to talk, and luckily you're going to be here this afternoon in the SSN Nation Sunday afternoon live stream. And I want to thank you once again. And we're going to have Prometheus on shortly. But again, thank you everybody for being here. Stop struggling now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, you know we talk about making money. This is why the channel is called Stop Struggling Now. We specialize, no barriers to entry. And here goes another one that you have a chance at, Hector DAO. You guys have heard me talk about this before. So once again, we're going to get into it shortly with Prometheus. He's in the house, and here's your chance to ask questions if you ever had any doubts. Any questions, don't understand something, well, you need to be in the house today. So I want to thank you all once again. And before I get into this, we have to tell the YouTube gods that somebody's in the house. So please smash that like button. And once again, we're going to have to welcome our special guest, Prometheus. I'm going to add him to the stream right now, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a special treat. So let's see what we can talk about today. Prometheus, welcome to the SSN Nation. Thank you so much for being here on a Sunday afternoon.
It's amazing to be here. I love the intro, man. I really love that. That got me pumped up. Very impressed with that. Nice and professional. It's amazing to be here. Thank you to everybody who's watching it, and to those of you who are watching it on a delay as well. It's really great to be here.
No problem. I think there's a lot of people, as you know, your marketing team has done something that is very, very special, even though I consider it not fully blown up with the other DAOs out there, but you guys are coming fast and coming hard. And I like what you guys are doing. In fact, I got to tell you once again, I started SSN, Stop Struggling Now, to help people. And the one thing that I'm excited about is what Hector DAO is trying to do. You guys are actually trying to help people. You're listening to people. You're not asking for a money grab. You're telling people, if you like what we're doing, then you should check us out. That's the method that I like, instead of trying to do money grabs.
Yeah, we're all about it. You know, I'm so proud that I can say, look, there was no whitelist, there was no pre-sale, there was no private allocation. This was a fair launch. You know, we built this project with our own money from investing, and you know, it's one of the things that blows me away is that we regularly get messages from community members who have said, you know, I paid for my car insurance. I bought my fiance a new phone. I helped my parents pay off debt. And, you know, I cannot tell you how good that feels. I would love to sit here on a pedestal and say, look at all the amazing things that we've done. But, you know, really it's the team, it's the marketing team, the strategy team, the developers themselves, and the community who help us do this amazing stuff every single day. And so I'm just so excited to be building something so special and so, you know, in such a great growth area of the market too. It's a bright future. I really do believe that.
Exactly. Well, here's some other things that are unlike the other streams that I've seen. We have to welcome people in the house, Prometheus, and that's what we do here. We have people, and I want to let everybody know who's watching this. You can always ask questions here at Stop Struggling Now on the live streams. Nobody is blocked. And first in the house, we have Esteban Opio with the icon next to his name. Thank you so much for being here. And he says, hello, good evening for SSN family, ready to learn. Esteban, that is beautiful. When you have an open mind, sometimes you're able to digest some valuable information, which is going to happen today. Victor Marrero's in the house. He has the icon next to his name. He has his tagline in tow. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's what Prometheus and Hector DAO has been doing. They've been doing it from day one. They have full transparency as far as I'm concerned. And we're going to talk about transparency with them because a lot of people have been trying to dog these guys out because they want to stay almost anonymous. I have no problem with anonymous. You guys don't know who runs a bank, do you? You don't know who runs the SEC in the stock market, do you? You don't care about handing over money in a 401k, do you? You don't sit there and vet these guys at all. You guys don't know that half these guys have failure records, but you don't even check them out. And here's a company, Prometheus, Hector DAO. These guys are putting it down, putting out information almost on a minute by minute basis, as far as I know. Every time I turn around, we have Diesel Mike in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Afternoon Live Edition. Good evening, Eric and SSN family is Diesel Mike's tagline. And we're going to get to some other people. But once again, we have our special guest in the house, Prometheus, and we have Best Pine in the house. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at. Good evening. Thank you so much for being here, Best Pine. And once again, Prometheus, I spoke about something here that was real quick, real fast. And there's a lot of people out here that try to, put down what you guys are doing because nobody knows, in theory, nobody knows who the developers are, who's running things. But one thing I want to talk about first is you yourself. What do you consider your position? And once again, I should have said this from the get-go. Congratulations on being a part of Hector DAO officially, where you're doing it a full-time job working with these people because you believe in what they're doing. But let me know about this request for doxing and letting people know who the developers are, who's running this. Let me know your thoughts on that.
Well, hey, I mean, it's something I understand, right? So my baptism of fire into cryptocurrency was on the Binance Smart Chain. Now, anybody in the audience and yourself, if you have traded there, you know how crazy that place gets. That is the Wild West of the Wild West. And so, the next logical step is that people think, well, how can we trust these team members? What are the steps that we can take in order to get to a place where we can verify that these people are legit, that they're not going to run away with the money, that they're not going to rug pull? And so the few things that you can do are audits and doxing, and in our case something called multi-sig authentication, which I'll speak about a little bit later. Now audits we're being audited by Certic, one of the most prominent auditors in the game, massive company, incredibly professional, and that's in the works. So we have that one checked off. Doxing though, that's an interesting question, isn't it? So the way I like to look at it, and you really described it perfectly. Do you know your bank manager? Do you know who is making the monetary policy at the Fed? Do you know who is collecting your taxes? Now, I hear the response. These are government figures for the most part. There is some sort of verification in person. I haven't verified it, but somebody's verified it. And yes, I get it. Completely get it. What I'll say to you, though, is I have seen docs teams rug projects because they either fake their doxing profile or they just don't care. And it's horrible for that to happen, and we've all seen it, but it does happen. Now, here's our response to it. Personally, I'm not going to mandate that people in the team do or don't dox. It's a completely personal choice. Everyone is entitled to privacy. And, one of the things we do is that we communicate this constantly to the community. I get the calls for doxing. Personally, I think it's fairly likely that I might at some point, but the project needs to get to a more stable position in the market. Because when you're in the launch phase, when the price goes up, you're a hero if you're a developer or a strategist or part of the team. You're a hero. People are talking about Lamborghinis, they're telling you all the amazing things. But when the price dips, people even go as far as making threats. And I'm not going to put my family in danger of that because somebody is annoyed about the price on the chart, right? Now, this is a minority. I want to stress that this is a minority of people. But when you get to the more kind of soaring heights of project development, we're talking the hundreds of millions, which we're at 140 something million market cap now, but like the 500, the billions, the 2 billions, that's where you start to get to a position where if you dox, it doesn't change a whole lot for your life in terms of the dangers of it, right? What we have done though to circumvent the worries about that is that we have something called multi-signature authentication. Now, this means that we have essentially delegated the control of the protocols and the contracts to what's called a safe. And a safe is somewhere where you have to have a consensus vote to change a parameter or to make a transaction. So for our bonding process, which we'll talk about later, we have a 3 of 6, meaning that 3 of the 6 people in the safe have to agree to a transaction before it happens. And then for things that are slightly more sensitive, like DAO funds and stuff like that, where there's millions of dollars at stake, we have a 5 of 7, meaning that 5 people have to agree of the 7 who could agree. Now, that means that no single developer can just run away with funds or make changes to the protocol. And the reason we have that redundancy built in, by the way, is because if somebody loses their seed phrases, then that's not a good situation to be in, right? Because they can't vote. We're looking to bring public figures who are doxed onto the signatory board too. Some of them are fairly famous. Anybody in the Phantom space probably knows a couple of them at this point. We're always working toward completing that step. So, I think it's just a case of, do you trust the team from what you see? Have they delivered? Do you believe in the project? Do you think there's a niche for it? Our liquidity pool is locked. Our marketing funds are vested. There really is not a whole lot that we could do at this point. And so, it's not just a single destination. It's something that we will continue to push forward with public trust, and the audit obviously helps. But no, it's not something that I'm going to say is never going to happen. I think for me, it probably will at some point, assuming we reach the heights that I think that we can get to.
Exactly. I wholeheartedly agree. I think this doxing is a bit overlooked. I think it's a way for somebody to minimize what you're trying to do. I'm more like, if it's working, people are getting their rewards, you can unstake and withdraw. You can do everything that you could normally want to do, and nobody's blocking you, saying when I load money up in Coinbase, for instance, because I'm a USA citizen, and then I try to send X amount of money out of Coinbase, all of a sudden a message pops up going, oh, I'm sorry, we have to wait a certain amount for 7 days. See, none of that's happening. So to me, I get frustrated when Coinbase does that. I'm like, who are you working for? That's what I ask. But if somebody doesn't restrict you and doesn't block you, then therefore, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing to be concerned about, other than it's a new company. It's only been out a few weeks. That's the only concern you can have. But with any investment or anything that you put your money into, it's a risk. So you should only use what you are willing to lose ultimately from an investor standpoint. And then if you believe in the project like I do, then you put a little bit more money in and you tell other people about it. And we all are in the same boat together. That's why this community is awesome. So I want to move on to something else as well, because you guys are being innovative with the marketing strategy. I love that. I love how you're out here all types of day, night times, promoting and talking about it, willing to be open. And what you guys have done, I'm going to skip to, not only is it the hundreds of thousands APY percentage annually, but I'm going to go straight to this new thing that you guys started. I'm going to go out of order. I know you have your own little order you talk, but let's get to this monetary situation. This 4-4. This to me is a game changer. I got to give the team credit for this, because regardless of the percentages, a lot of people are saying bonding, staking versus staking and then taking money and then bonding. You guys have come up with the plan that I call, it's nearly set it and forget it, because you are sitting there, whatever you have in the bonding is also staking. And what I understand, just make sure I'm clear on this, the money you receive from the stake, is that HEC or is that SHEC? That is pretty major. If it's SHEC, that's even more major, because that's a rebate situation, but we'll get into that in a second. But let me know about this 4-4. Down below in the description, I also put in the link to your Medium page. So if anybody doesn't understand what is said here about the 4-4, you can always go read up on it a little bit further. So let us know about this 4-4.
Absolutely, yeah, I'd love to. So, and by the way, I see in the comments section, timeless travel. So here is the credence of what I'm saying, that I really do spend time with the community all the time. Timeless travel was in an AMA that I did a few days ago, and I recognize the name from the comments. So just going to throw that one out there. It's great to see you again, Timeless Travel. Thank you for subscribing to the SSN Nation as well. These guys clearly deserve it. Look at the professionalism. So 3-3 and 4-4. Let's jump into this. So let's do it from an investor's point of view. So with 3-3 bonds, you would bond your coins, right? Usually a stable coin. DAI is the one that people use the most. That is a stable coin backed to the US dollar, or rather pegged to the US dollar. And so you bond it, and then you are gradually paid rewards in HEC tokens, which is our native currency. Now they're vested linearly, meaning that you get, it's over 5 days, so you get about 20% per day on average. Now, the way to maximize your profits, if you really, really wanted to min-max this, would be to every 8 hours on the dot, you would claim the rewards that you have pending, and then you would stake them, and you get rebase rewards. But here's the thing. That means you have to be up 24 hours a day, or you have to sleep in 4-hour bursts, or whatever it may be. What if there was a situation, what if there was a system that, as you said, was a set it and forget it? What if we could do that automatically? Well, that's what 4-4 is. 4-4 pays out your bond rewards in staked HEC, meaning that it is staked from the second you purchase that bond. You don't need to do anything, which means that your profit margins are higher because you're already receiving compound rewards on something you haven't even claimed yet. And, it's to say it's innovative, I guess is probably accurate. I'm not going to stand here on a stage and say Hector's the greatest project in the universe, but we are the first, certainly on the chain, to do this. And I believe, excuse me, I believe we're the first project ever to do this. And so, innovation is what we do. It's something we push for all the time. We always want to be pushing. How can we be better, bigger, faster, stronger, and more unique than everybody else? And 4-4 is a major step towards achieving that. And we've heard such amazing feedback from the community about it. So it's been a huge success for us. And by the way, thank you for linking the Medium article. I really appreciate that, because I understand it has been a bit of a learning curve for some investors, but fortunately we have a really great community who is always there on hand to help people learn about it.
Exactly. I'm glad that this 4-4 came about, because the bonding is one thing, staking is separate, but the 4-4. And so I want to talk about just a little bit on the 4-4, because there's a little bit of confusion as far as I'm concerned. They have a disclaimer underneath when it gives me a percentage. I'll use a percentage that's, I don't remember which one it is, but let's say it's 11% in the 4 days. And then it says underneath 9% is included. What does this mean exactly?
Yeah, so let's say that so when you buy a bond, there is an underlying discount that you get from the market price. So generally we trade mostly on SpookySwap. So let's say that the price on SpookySwap is $200. It's 207 right now, but let's say 200. And the price at bonding would then run at a discount to SpookySwap. So let's say it's like $195, which would represent 2.5% discount. It's usually more than that, by the way. It's usually about 10%. Now that means that you can either buy tokens at SpookySwap, and then you would buy them for market value, or you can bond them, which means that you trade them directly with our project for a discount, and you get more tokens, you get more bang for your buck, essentially. Now, when you do that, you have to calculate what the percentage reward is, right? So with 3-3, that's a really straightforward equation. That is just, what's the price differential? It's a percentage, because they are not compounding rewards if it's 3-3. Remember, you just get paid in HEC tokens. With 4-4, it becomes a little bit more complicated, because you have to remember that the reward pool you're drawing from is also getting larger. So when you see I believe it will say something like 9% rebase included. That means you're getting a bonding discount from the market prices, but you are also getting a compounding increase of those tokens worth X amount of percent. In this case, what was it, 9% or something? Meaning that you are combining those two percentage advantages, and that's why 4-4 is such a powerful thing to use.
So just to be clear, when you say combining, that's where I'm lost, because I still want to be clear. When it says 11%, and then you're saying it includes the 9%, it's based on the rebase, right?
Exactly. So let's say that you get 100 SHEC tokens, right? Whatever price that may be. In this case, it would be $20,000, something like that. But let's say that you have a reward pool of 100 SHEC tokens. Now, if that were a 3-3 bond, and you got them for a flat 10% discount, that's your final number, right? It's 10% discount. That means you got 10% more than if you had spent that money at market. In 4-4, you have to remember that we're rebasing and compounding. So if your weekly ROI let's simplify the whole thing, right? Let's say that the vesting period for a 4-4 bond, I mean, currently it's 4 days. Let's say it's 7, just for the sake of example. So we can work with a weekly rebase rate. Our weekly ROI, I believe, is something like 12%. So that means you would get let's say a 10% discount from your market purchase. And then those tokens would increase by 12% as a stake, which is why those reward amounts are so powerful, because your token, the stake of tokens that you have is growing even before you've claimed it, but you already have a market discount on it, which means you're getting basically double discounts at that point. It makes you much, much safer from price changes. I mean, if price goes up, amazing, you make a lot of money. If price stays flat, great, you still make a lot of money. And if price dips slightly, you're still safe from those price changes, because you have a 9% increase anyway, relatively speaking. And that's on top of the market discount that you get.
Beautiful. All right. So I do understand it. Now, it's hard to imagine. Now, one thing is also unclear, because most bonding can change percentages. Is that also something with Hector? Yes, it is, because I see the MEM is 13.61% right now, and it was 11, I believe, last night or yesterday. So there are changes, right, with the bonding.
Yeah. So if loads and loads and loads of people are buying bonds, that drives the demand for the bond up, which then would raise the price of the bond, right? Because it works the same as a token. The reason that happens is so that we don't take on huge amounts of debt that we then have to pay out as a protocol. So we control it in a really kind of, we keep an eagle eye on it, basically, so that we can have that nice upwards growth, but we don't do it so fast that we end up with a dump, because nobody wants that, right? Exactly. I mean, the markets are going to behave as the markets behave, but the least we can do for our investors is have long-term sustainable growth. So, we've seen projects that have done several million % APY, which that's amazing. Who wouldn't want that, right?
That's right.
But it's not sustainable for the most part.
Exactly.
And now I'm not going to sit and further the project. It's not my job. I think it's completely unnecessary, and I think it's immoral a lot of the time. And I'm going to talk about Hector instead.
Exactly.
Our growth strategy is long-term sustained growth. We're building a real ecosystem here, a real platform, something that's going to stand the test of time. And so we like to go for long, slow decisions that you can rely upon, because it's just a safer bet, right? Because everything's a bet in crypto. There's always risk associated with everything you do. And what we want to do is help minimize that risk for our investors in a meaningful way. And, the decisions we make, I feel, really do help to achieve that. And I think it's reflected in how stable our price is against the markets in general right now.
Man, I am so happy to hear this, because that is one of the things that I talk about all the time regarding everyone that's in this DAO space. It's the fact that, okay, we can talk these crazy numbers anytime. We can say a billion APY percentage. The problem is, you're going to be here how long? A week, 2 weeks, a month? I want a project that's what you're talking about. You're looking down the road. If we have people who entered into Hector DAO a week ago, 2 weeks ago, today, next week, and they're still staked and bonded, both are separate, and it's a year from now, you have now changed thousands, if not millions, of other people's lives. The people that are getting left behind, the people that could have invested only $1,000, only $1,500, only $2,000, who only had a little bit, even $500 or $300, that turns into life-changing money if you're able to sustain these numbers. And that's why I'm very happy to hear that when you say you want people to bond, and it's a leverage kind of points where you're saying, okay, we'll increase the percentage based on X because bonds are being mostly bought. Then we'll decrease it because more people are staking, and then there's other variables, of course. That is something that I love to hear. And I want to get some other people in the house. We have Enzo Latavea in the house. He has the Vecto with the strength and the strong. You got that. That's exactly what they represent with strength, strong, and its strength and strongness. Prometheus from Cygnus beats Prometheus, the best one on the game right now. Man, I agree with you, Cygnus. Welcome to the SSN Nation Sunday afternoon live stream. And we have more crazy investor win team docs. Hopefully you heard the beginning of this. I will say it again. Welcome to the SSN Nation Sunday afternoon live stream, crazy investor. And I understand people want to know when they're docs. All I want to know is this thing still working? It's still working. I don't need to know who's running the show. All I need to know is it's working. We're going to talk about that. If you missed the beginning, check out the beginning in the replay, because we started off with that. Timeless travel. Welcome to the SSN Nation Sunday afternoon live stream. Prometheus showing strength again. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And I also understand that he said he was on your show already, which is awesome. So thank you so much for being here as well. I appreciate it. Andreen Miller's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation afternoon live stream. She has the icon next to the name, which means she's a member of the channel, and she always brings it up. Hello, SSN Academy. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. SSN Academy, SSN University, SSN Nation. It's totally free. That's right. It's the no guru zone here. This is where you learn how to make more money while you sleep. And it doesn't have to be with crypto. We're not a one-trick pony. We talk about investments. We talk about assets. And it just so happens, Hector DAO, I am bullish on. I want these guys to succeed. And so far, they're putting it right out there for all of us. And Prometheus, he's coming around here, making sure people get information on a daily basis. So welcome to the Academy, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And one more person, Prometheus, that we have to get in the house, because apparently he's got the rocket ship for us. Made Figures, welcome to the SSN Nation Sunday afternoon live stream. He's got the let's go heck. I agree with you 100%. All right, let's get into something else, ladies and gentlemen. Here's something else that is very, very major. And I can't even believe they're talking about this, because this is something that I, for one, never understood why other crypto entities never would do what I'm about to talk about and what they're coming out with. And it's a surprise. Hector Bank. That's right, Prometheus. I know you talked about it. I know you can't say much about it except whatever you can tell us. But I think this is one of those steps that means governments, entities will not be able to block us. That's what I care about. So let me know what this Hector Bank is and what you can tell us as of today, please.
Absolutely, I'd love to. So Hector Bank, this is the project we're working on right now. You know, it's a huge expansion to our ecosystem. So, you know, we have staking, we have bonding, and they're really the two main things that we operate on right now. And, you know, as a member of the chat said, all gas, no brakes. That's who we are. So we thought, well, how can we really develop something to turn this into, you know, not just a project, but an ecosystem, a financial center on the Phantom chain, I guess you could call it. Because I'm bullish on Phantom, and anyone who has researched Phantom probably is bullish on Phantom, I think is safe to say. And, you know, what we want to do is bring just a touch of that fiat world, just a touch of the IRL situation into crypto to help it expand. Because, you know, I'm not an extremist either way. I'm not pro-government. I'm not anti-government. I'm pro-individual liberty and choice and freedom, though. In terms of, you know, it's the rat race, right? Nobody wants to be part of it. I think there are better ways to go. And so what we want to do is bring lending and borrowing into a decentralized manner. Now, we're not the first to do this. This is an established thing to do. And, you know, we've seen people have crazy good success on other chains doing this. And so we want to position ourselves on the Phantom ecosystem as the de facto lender or borrower for the entire system. Because when the Phantom system really takes off and has that exponential growth, we want to be standing in the center saying, you know, we will facilitate everything you need. You know, if you need to lend, do it. If you need to borrow, do it. If you want staking and bonding rewards, here we are. We really want to help that expansion happen with a chain. And so Hector Bank was a natural, logical step for us. So you'll be able to borrow and lend collateralized assets, and you'll essentially be able to use them as leverage to get into other trades or whatever it is that you may want to do with them. And the advantage is that if you're lending, you get a reward for lending out your tokens. Usually they'll be stable coins, but sometimes they won't be. And the protocol makes revenues for providing the service, which is great for everybody, because that means that we just have another revenue stream that we can either put into APYs for people who are staking, or we can use them to hire more developers and bring out more of these amazing protocols and projects that we're developing, or we can put it into the treasury and turn Hector into an enormous center of wealth within the decentralized finance system. So I'm incredibly bullish on it. I'm really excited, and we expect to have that done in about 12 days now. So I know we're running towards that deadline very quick, and you can expect some really, really cool, really detailed announcements coming from the team quite soon about that too.
Excellent. Excellent. This is what I love. You guys are being innovators beyond belief. And I am rooting for this project because, again, I call ordinary citizens OCs. And this is going to help ordinary citizens, millions of people around the world. But they are going to have to believe and they're going to have to invest. Let's see who else is in the house. And by the way, Prometheus, hopefully you have some time today. Hopefully you have at least an hour and a half or an hour. So let me know after I bring you up again. But Timeless Travel has the melons, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you need to get to be a Hectorian. That's what you need. And by the way, Hector Discord group down below in the description. There is a link to the Discord group. I have a link to the Twitter page as well, because you need to get into the SSN Nation / Hector Nation groove, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Scott Taylor, welcome to the SSN Nation Sunday afternoon live stream. He says, wow. Oh, you haven't heard nothing yet. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen, because we have more to talk about, and it's about to get a whole lot better. If you think that's all good, wait till we got some more to talk about. Where I'm going to bring it up. No face doesn't mean no communication. The transparency has built my trust in Heck. That's all you want right there, Timeless Travel. That's what I want. I don't really care what somebody's doing. Here's what I want. I want what happened in the United States. I want to know when in 2008, 2009, when the banks over-leveraged themselves, the insurance companies running around the world giving out these nonsense loans and banking and derivatives, they fall down based on their risk with our money. They bailed them out. They did not bail out the United States citizens and people around the world. That is what I'm talking about. That is just downright wrong. And Hector is here to do the opposite, helping everybody. All you have to do is do your own research on this. Victor Marrero, what's the difference between staking bond 1.1 and bond 4.4? All right, we already got to it. As a long-term investor, which one do you recommend? I'm going to say I'm not a financial advisor. Prometheus, I don't believe is one either. We can only say do your due diligence. And of course, since I'm not a financial advisor and I'm a YouTuber, I can sit up here and say, hell yes, I think it's a great idea. That's right. You should look at it and then hell yes, I'm invested in Hector. I believe that they're going to do great. So therefore, I can say that. So I'm not going to let Prometheus say that. He could get these guys in trouble. Just subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much, Timeless Travel. And everybody else, please smash those like buttons. Vanessa Kamagate, welcome to the SSN Nation afternoon live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, boss and SSN fam, appreciating this interview today. Thank you so much. Thank Prometheus for being here. He has unlimited time, it seems. I don't know what he's doing, but he's got time. And now we're going to get into something called trust. Because we talked about it earlier where people want the team to be doxxed for some strange reason. But there is something else, because there's a company called Assure that has done the KYC. So I'm going to let Prometheus talk about that, because that is another trust verification in itself. So why don't we talk about that, Prometheus, please?
Yeah, for sure. So, in the early days of the project, the doxing question comes up loads, and it doesn't slow down, by the way, for any of you developers out there who may be starting your own journeys. It doesn't slow down. But there are things you can do to mitigate it. And so, we have multi-signature authentication, meaning that the contracts are secure. No individual can do anything without the agreement of the strategy team and the developers. We have audits incoming by Certic, which is one of the biggest auditing firms in the world for crypto, one of the most well-known, certainly. And we thought, how else can we do this? Because there's this question of doxing, right? Is there something that we can do that's a halfway house? And so we looked at KYCing ourselves. Now, I want to make clear, KYC is for us, not for you as investors. Nobody will ever need to KYC ever to interact with Hector as a protocol or as a project. So just to clear that up. So we got in touch with a company called Assure. And what they do is they ask you to identify yourselves to them to show that you're a legitimate person. And then they give you an NFT to represent the fact that you have taken that step of trust with them and exposed yourselves to them. And it's just, some people think it's a minor step. Some people think it's a major step. As we say, we just work hard and let things take care of themselves. And we will be doing more and more of these things to help build public trust. And, as I said, there's every possibility that at some point in the future, I may reveal my identity, and the questions will slowly be the answer to those people. But yeah, I feel that we've taken huge steps to get to where we are in terms of public trust, and one of the things I do as well as I speak to the community all the time. As you said, I seemingly have unlimited time. I try to be as ubiquitous as I can and be everywhere at the same time, and I think we really are seeing the credence of doing that now, because I just love doing it.
Exactly. Here we go. I don't know if you can answer this, but I'm going to ask it. Victor Marrero, how long do you estimate the current rebases can be sustained for? We all understand risk versus rewards.
Well, first of all, on risk versus rewards, thank you, because it's great to see people that do their own due diligence and they do their own research. I can sit here and tell you how amazing Hector is. I'm not a financial advisor, by the way, so don't take anything I say as legal advice. But I could sit here and tell you how amazing the project is. But the best thing any investor can do really for their own life, to improve their life, is to research heavily and obsessively almost. So thank you for being one of those people. I really appreciate the grind. Now, on runway, which is what we call sustainability, our dashboard indicates, I think it's 186.7 days, something like that right now. So on our dashboard, we have a set of statistics which will show you, how much money we have locked in the treasury, how much money we're putting into bonding, and all of these metrics. One of those metrics is one we call runway. And runway is an expression of how long, there it is, 186.3. It's an expression of how long we can continue to disperse APY rewards, given that no more bonding money comes in, or that the current financial situation stays exactly the same. This means that we have 186 days, essentially. Now, a runway curve that is kind of in an upwards trajectory or a sideways trajectory is a good thing. It means that if it's sideways, we're bringing in as much money as we're giving out. And if it's going upwards, it means we're bringing in more money than we're giving out, which means the runway increases. And so 186.3 days is your answer to that one. And you can keep track of that runway chart using our dashboard features.
That's right. And it's HectorDAO.com. That's where you can go, then launch the app, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's see who else we have a question. Oh, the 44 Tim Does Crypto. Welcome to the SSN Nation afternoon live stream. Thank you so much for being here, Tim Does Crypto. 44, I agree with you 100%. Tim Does Crypto says 627,000%. We could all hope it stays anywhere in the hundreds of thousands. I don't care about the 6 or the 7 or the 3. If it stays anywhere above 100,000, I'm happy. And that's also what I'm waiting to see is going to be sustainable. All right. Now, there is one other thing regarding trust that we have to talk about, and I'll get to that in a second. But I want to give Tim Does Crypto some more. Prometheus is relentless with these AMAs, hardest working person in crypto at the moment. Congrats on going full time. Exactly. Congratulations once again. So Prometheus, the CerTech or CerTech, the audit, the contract, the trust. Let's talk about that, because that is another step, as far as I'm concerned, that gives credence to what you're doing. And that's going to start here shortly. So let's talk about that as well, please.
Yeah, so audits are like a rite of passage for most projects. You get to a certain point and people say you need to audit this to make sure it's safe. And they're right. You do have to audit it. Now, auditing is the process by which you get independent people who are experts to read through everything, all of the code, all of the documentation of said code, and or test all of the functions and make sure that it is safe and that it functions and that it cannot be abused. And CerTech are one of the biggest players in the game. They audit big projects. For example, Ohm, which is Olympus DAO on Ethereum, has a CerTech audit.
That's right.
And so one of the things we do as a project is that we give the community the right to vote on how they want the project to develop. And so we put this to a vote, and we said, we propose that we use some of the the DAO funds, which is the profit we make. We propose that we use some of the DAO funds to pay for an audit from either CerTech or PeckShield. PeckShield is another major player in the auditing game. And the vote was an overwhelming yes. I think it was like 99.7% yes, so landslide. And so we then enacted the will of the community, and we got in touch with CerTech and said, we'd like to have an audit. So the audit is in process. It is happening right now, and they expect it will take somewhere around 3 weeks at most, meaning we're looking at maybe a mid to late December release date for that audit. So that means CerTech and their expert team will go through everything in the project and make sure that it is safe, that it's functional, and that it can't be abused. and they will give us a report. If there's anything we need to fix, we'll fix it, and then they will re-audit it and make sure that it works again. And if there's nothing we need to fix, great, fantastic, we win, and everything is good. But in either case, you'll be able to rest assured knowing that some of the best minds in the game have looked at the contract and they've verified that it works and that it's safe.
Another safeguard. I love it. This is, again, ladies and gentlemen, they've done the KYC to assure for their team. They're doing the CerTIC for the protocol. I don't know what more you need other than you are getting rewards. You can withdraw your money at any time. So there is no hiccup thus far, except for one. I'm going to mention it right now because here's something that drives me crazy, Prometheus. So I put out a video about being able to be on the Phantom Network to withdraw FTM from KuCoin to the Phantom Network. Hours after I put out this video, all of a sudden it says unavailable to withdraw FTM on the Phantom Network to put into our MetaMask wallet so we can swap it into Heck. So that means I have to jump through other hoops, meaning Binance, meaning swaps, bridges, things like that. Now, I know there's Rubik Exchange. I know there's Yoshi Exchange. But here's what I really want to know. The development team seem to be badass. I don't see a problem with these guys, but I want to know one and two things. One is we need to make it a 3-click process. What I'm trying to say is either I need to go to an exchange, be able to buy Heck directly, or I need a stable coin that I can swap on the Phantom Network without having to do these bridges and swaps and losing money because we are this ERC20 token, Ethereum. Let me know if there's a place where a person, because we're in USA, you know, land of the free, where we have to jump through hoops to spend our money. In the USA, we can't just buy HEC, first of all. I don't think anybody can. And second of all, I don't think I can get a stable coin and just swap it and be on the Phantom Network. Let me know if there's a spot that you know of where a United States citizen, whether I have to put money in Coinbase, anywhere, any other exchange, send it somewhere, swap it, and then take it out and send my FTM to my MetaMask or Trust Wallet or whatever wallet people use. Let me know if you know of any such a thing.
You know what, Eric, this is one of the issues that annoys me the most. I really have to agree. So for those of you who haven't come across this, exchanges, many of them, so we're talking Binance, KuCoin, Coinbase, I think as well, you know, the big players, if you're on an exchange, you're probably on one of them.
Yep.
They have native Phantom withdrawals, meaning that you can withdraw Phantom tokens across the Phantom network into a Phantom wallet, which that's great. That means that you can get into our project really easily. Now, over the last couple of weeks, there's been a shortage of liquidity in those exchanges, meaning that they just don't have enough Phantom tokens to give you to be able to do that, to withdraw it. So generally speaking, you have to ask yourself why. And I suspect, again, I'm not an expert here, but I suspect it's because the demand on the Phantom network to get into the network is so high that exchanges just can't compete fast enough yet. And I think these issues will fix themselves overall, by the way, or eventually, I mean. And so here is kind of the best solution that we found from community members. Now, by the way, we have partnerships which are going to make this easier. So one of them is with an exchange called Rubik, where you can swap from anything to anything across any chain, which obviously means, you know, really easy to get in. Another one is with the Yoshi Exchange, who are creating a system essentially where you can buy cryptocurrency with fiat using your Visa card. And you can do that directly to the Phantom network, which also is a really, really good way of lowering that barrier to entry. And the best way right now we find is that you have to bridge tokens. So whether you come from Avalanche, Smart Chain, Ethereum, we have guides on our documentation. And when you bridge, we donate transaction fees to you. So we donate a few $1,000s a week as a project to community members to help them when they arrive on the Phantom network so that they can go and do their business.
That's right.
Now, we're always working on updating these guides. We have huge amounts of documentation on it, and we're working on making videos for that as well. But I think this is a problem that fixes itself over time, right? Because if the exchanges don't find a way to sort this out and get more liquidity, a competitor is going to step in and they're going to take the market share. This is capitalism, right? It's the wonderful game. And so when you see exchanges like Yoshi Exchange and Rubik Exchange doing what they are doing, they are the catalyst to solving the problem. I really feel that that is the truth. And so, yes, it's frustrating now. But if you go into our community channels, whether that be Discord, Telegram, wherever you are, if you ask people for advice, how do I get from this network to Phantom, you'll get loads of people telling you how to do it and offering to help you do it as well. And, you know, in Discord, we often get people who will offer to pay for your transaction fees as well, that's amazing. You don't really see that a lot in crypto. So it's frustrating, but I guarantee to you virtually that it will get easier over time.
All right. That is beautiful to hear. And once again, in case you guys missed this, he did say people do help with the Phantom FTM fees. That is verified, because in the Discord group and on Telegram, I see lots of people say thank you for sending a little bit of the gas fees to help us out or get the information to swap and bridge and things like that. So if you're having any problems, the Discord link is down below to the Hector DAO Discord group. The Twitter feed also down below in the description. So get that. And then Catching Crypto, welcome to the SSN Nation Sunday afternoon live stream. I just put this up here. Please, Prometheus, please have a few-minute read of the ideas discussed in Rome's medium release. Hector can benefit from some of them. I appreciate you mentioning that, because this is another thing I like. Prometheus, I'm going to let you talk about this. What I like is you guys listen to the community. You're actually out here listening and checking out what people are saying to move the project forward for a community. You're not just going, this is our project, this is our protocol, this is how we're going to do it, take it or leave it. I love the fact you guys are out here listening to the community.
Yeah. And by the way, thank you for pointing out the Rome thing. I promise you that I will read it. I guarantee you that. But if you're on Discord or Telegram, please DM it to me as well. I will go and find it if you don't, but obviously it makes my life a little bit easier if you send me that link directly. So I promise you I'm going to go and read that. Now, in terms of helping community members, yeah, we're in a fortunate position where we love to do it as well as it being beneficial. And, you know, one of the major advantages you get in a project when you behave that way is that, I mean, look, there's like 12, 14 of us team members. The number fluctuates because we hire people and all of that stuff, but we'll call it 12. So that's 12 people who have to take time out of their day to go and research the markets, which we do. We know we have people who research as a dedicated thing. Compared to, you know, how about we leverage the tens of thousands of people that are involved in the project as community members, because they see everything, right? And so we find it's really beneficial to listen to everything they say. And at the end of the day, you know, where does the money come from? Well, it comes from community members. And so they have a good idea of what they want to see. You know, we're not their bosses, they are our bosses.
That's right.
And so I spend a considerable amount of time every day. You know, it takes me about an hour and a half every morning to answer all of the DMs I get, but I do it every single morning without fail, and I will do it as long as I can, as long as it's humanly possible, I will do it. So, you know, if you are in the comment section now and you've had personal communications with me, you'll know that for a fact. You know, I'm not just saying this. I answer every question, every single DM. And, you know, it's, as I said, I'm lucky that I enjoy doing it. Because I think it would be hard to do if you didn't, right? If you did it just for price impacts, just for a PR campaign, that would be tiring. Respect to people who can pull that off, because that's going to take some effort, I think. But I love doing it. I love interacting with the community. Some genuinely funny, kind, intelligent people there, and it's always a pleasure.
Exactly. I love to hear that. And we went over this, but in case we have new people here, I'm going to say smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. So the YouTube gods know we're in the house here with Prometheus today, our special guest from Hector DAO. When you bond 4-4, you have to wait the 4 days before staking, correct? I'm going to let Prometheus answer this. I think I know the answer.
Yeah, Victor, thank you for the question. So when you bond 4-4, you don't need to stake. That's the magic and the beauty of 4-4. It is staked for you. So there is a vesting period, which means you can claim it and then do whatever it is you want with it, whether you keep it staked or unstake it, whatever. And after that 4-day period, those tokens are yours, but you don't need to stake them. They'll just already be staked. They will arrive to you in a nice, neat package in your crypto wallet, and they will already be within our staking system.
That's right. That's right. On Guts, welcome to the SSN Nation Sunday afternoon live stream. I see you in the house because you said nice before. You're saying again, That's right. And now we have altcoin crypto tree. Welcome to the SSN Nation afternoon live stream. And Prometheus, you said package. We're going to get into a package here shortly, but here we go. Victor Marrero has been experimenting, and he says, I found a way to get USD DAI MEM through AVAX network and bypassing the ETH bridge. Is that the easiest way to get stable coins loaded onto the Hector platform? I think that's it, but I'm going to let Prometheus dissect this question. But I think if you have that path through AVAX, that means it's cheaper. I don't have to deal with ETH fees. That's a winner for me.
Yeah, Victor, it's definitely one of the fastest and easiest ways and cheapest ways. No one likes Ethereum fees. Yeah, I like Ethereum in general as a project. I think it's great, but those fees are not fun, man. We all know it. So yeah, AVAX has quite a lot of a discount on those fees. Smart Chain is also a way that you can do it. The Smart Chain fees are ludicrously low a lot of the time. And so yeah, wherever the fees are cheaper, I guarantee that you can bridge. As long as the network is a big network, like Avalanche is obviously a supported one. Smart Chain, Ethereum, Phantom, I think Moon River as well is supported too. And by the way, Big Idol in chat, you messaged me on Discord. Your username is Flowstone. I did see the messages. The reason I didn't open them is because I only open messages when I'm about to respond to them, just so that you know when I'm talking to you. I am really interested in the message that you sent me about NFT art, so I guarantee to you I'm going to get around to that soon. You just sent me the message like 20 minutes after I finished my roundup of messages, so I'm not ignoring you. I will get to it, I promise.
Beautiful. I love these live streams. You can actually tell people directly what you would have had to send them an email or a message back. And if they're here, this is what it's for. This is beautiful. All right. Now, we did talk about, you mentioned the word wrapping. Well, in case people have not been in the Discord group in the last 24 hours, you can now wrap SHEC. Is this true?
Yes, I can confirm. Yep, that is true. I see where you were going with the package thing there. Smart move. I like that. So wrapping. Let's talk about wrapping.
Yes.
Now, let's set the scene. So let's say you live in what is called a common law country. This will apply to other countries too. I just know for a fact that it applies to common law countries. So common law countries are ones like the USA, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, the UK, most European countries, particularly the Western European countries, Scandinavia. It's where the law is basically the same from country to country. There are just small variations. Now, any of you in crypto will know about income tax and capital gains tax. You'll especially know about capital gains tax. And so income tax generally tends to be a little bit, oh, by the way, I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not a financial advisor. Speak to a financial advisor and a legal expert from your country, please. So generally income tax is a little bit steeper than capital gains tax. And the way that your government's tax agency may define income tax versus capital gains tax is a little bit gray right now because crypto is quite new. And so we have decided to allow people to wrap our tokens. Now, what that means is when you are staking Hector, you have SHEC, staked HEC, and you will get rebase rewards. Now, some governments, some jurisdictions may define this as an income because you're getting a regular payment of something that equals money, essentially, right? And so you could quite easily define that logically as an income. Maybe not legally, but you could make the case of it. So the best way to get around that is called wrapping. And so what you do is you wrap your token to an ERC20 token. And instead of your stake increasing, the value of the token increases, which means that you can clearly define an invested amount of money, a growth, and then a withdrawal, which means that you can define those gains as capital gains tax, which is often much, much more tax efficient and is better for the end user when you withdraw that money, if you so choose, into the fiat space. It also makes things much easier to keep track of as well, because you don't have to track compounding rewards transactions. So it's just an all-around good thing for those investors who would like to keep their money in the system for a long time and then eventually turn it into fiat currency. It means that you can define it very clearly as capital gains tax rather than income tax, and you can save yourself a considerable amount of money on the exit. What I will say, though, is please consult a financial expert and a legal expert in your country. Please consult an accountant, and always do your own research. And I'm not a financial advisor, so please consult an expert. I think you're muted there, Eric.
Yes, I forgot about the mic, but again, I'll reiterate, none of us are financial advisor or accountants, so this is very wise to consult the professionals. Now, I'm going to say something that Prometheus can't say because I'm a YouTuber. I'm going to tell you guys like it is. Crypto is almost anonymous. What I mean by that is when the United States citizen or citizens around the world, when you load money up, that's trackable. Whether it's your credit card, debit card, bank account is trackable. Once you put it into crypto, then they have to have your addresses to go back and forth. They don't have your addresses. So therefore, when it's rebasing and doing all these things, that is only trackable by you. And then normally the old system, which they're trying to always do FUD, the regular system is just like when I have a stock and I get dividends, that's not a taxable event at that time. It's a taxable event when I withdraw my money. So the same rules are probably going to apply in the end. So all I'm trying to say is don't worry about the tax implications because none of us should be selling SHEC anytime soon. That's all I'm trying to tell you guys. You should be sitting back, making an investment into Hector DAO and saying, I'll check this out 9, 10, 12 months from now, because that's where the sweet spot is, ladies and gentlemen. The sweet spot isn't what's happening right now. And I guarantee you, if you have 50,000, 60,000, 100,000, 7 figures or whatever, you will not mind paying a few $100 to an accountant to figure out how you're going to save on your taxes. All right. So let's just put it there. All right. Don't think short term, think long term. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, let's see who else is in the house. Will Craw, SSN Nation member in the house. Welcome to the afternoon live stream here with Prometheus, the special guest. And I forgot to ask him because our live stream sometime have been 2 hours, 3 hours. So let me know, Prometheus, when you come back in, if you have another 30 minutes, 15 minutes, because we're not going to do you wrong with the 2 hours, 3 hours like I do. All right, but he does have a question. Do you have to unstake first in? And I don't quite understand the question because you have to approve first, then you have to stake first to receive the SHEC, the stake HEC, and then you can unstake to withdraw. So it's just reverse. But I'll see if Prometheus has anything to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, in order to withdraw and sell for a stable coin like DAI, yes, you would need to unstake. So HEC is the tradable token, SHEC is the stakes token, just to clear that up. And I have, for the record, about 15 to 20 more minutes. So yeah, okay. Happy to keep going.
All right, so he's going to stay in the SSN Nation for a little bit longer. And once again, please smash the like button. And if you like what we're talking about here so far, please subscribe to the channel and click the all notification bell. All right, Natek has the melons. By the way, Prometheus, how come the melons? That is the Hectorian with the melons.
I get this question so much. You know, when we started the community, I realized that this was going to be something that I would have to answer so many times, but it always makes me laugh. So here's the thing. When we launched, we had a much smaller community, like 70 people in the Discord, I think, compared to like 15,000 now. Jeez. And you know, there was a bit of degeneracy going on. People building the hype, putting in ape emojis and all, you know, all the stuff that you see, all of the rockets. And we had a slight delay to launch because we had to check some of the contracts and test things, obviously. And so I thought, how can I get the crowd's attention? So I just said, spam watermelons, because it was the first emoji that I saw. I was like, spam watermelons, guys. I want to see your melons. I demand melons. And, you know, 25,000 melons later, and people are still doing it. So I just put it into my name on Discord, and now there's thousands of people that send me melons daily. So yeah, it's a weird one, man. But the community seems to love it. And it's a really good conversation starter as well. So I think it's worked out really well for us.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's beautiful. All right. So that's how that came about. And Timeless Travel says Prometheus keeps me bullish. He is all gas, no brakes. Hey, I got to agree with you on that. All right. Let's go, Babs. And then here we have some more melons. David S., welcome to the SSN Nation afternoon live stream with more melons from David S. And do I need to unstake in order to bond 4-4? Interesting.
So 4/4 bonds are bought in the same way as 3/3s are. So if you have on our bond page, we tell you what bonds we accept. So it's like USDC, DAI, and MIM. Yes, thank you for reminding me that.
Yeah.
Long day.
Yeah.
USDC, DAI, and MIM are the ones we've predominantly taken. They are the only 4/4 bonds we take right now. And so if you have those tokens, you can just go and 4/4 bonds them. If you wanted to get a 4/4 bond and you don't have those tokens, you can, if you would like to, unstake your HEC, sell it for DAI, and then rebond it as 4/4 directly with the protocol. So yeah, there's a number of options, but you have to have the tokens that we take as 4/4s.
Exactly. And those tokens, again, USDC, DAI, and MIM. Those are the only ones you can do the 4/4 with. All right.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. When you do 4/4, it stakes automatically. Exactly. Beautiful. Ryan Laughlin, another Hectorian in the house with the melons. This is Juvie Lover. Welcome to the SSN Nation afternoon live stream with the icon next to his name. He says, hello, everyone. All right. Another question. Ramen Z, welcome to the live stream. Spooky Swap partnership announcement was great. Are there other partnerships in the works?
Ramin, you've been reading our announcements. I'm impressed. Yes, there are some really, really cool ones coming up as well. I'd love to tell you what they are, but because they're partnerships, I can't tell you until it's announced. Super frustrating, but yeah. So we've done Yoshi, we've done Rubik, we've done Hotbit, we've done Spooky Swap, and there are some pretty big names coming up through the pipeline as well. So I'm very excited for that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Q from East Atlanta to Decatur Rays. Welcome to the SSN Nation afternoon live stream. He's given all the possible fingers and thumbs up for the Heck Nation. All right. Thank you so much. The Solana moment incoming.
This is another one, man. This is another one where I answer this question so many times. So, Tim, you've clearly been watching some of my other AMAs. Let's do the Solana moment meme. Yeah, let's jump into this and do the meme.
Okay, let's do it.
I get this question: why are you bullish on Phantom? Why Phantom? And I'll do the whole spiel. So Phantom is the transaction fees are so cheap. It's like $0.0007 most of the time, and it's really, really fast. It's really scalable and it's really secure. So what more do you need from your chain, ladies and gentlemen? What more could you possibly ask for? And so, which chain has similar features? Well, Solana does. Now, here's the Solana moment. Here's the meme. So, Tim, if you're sitting there with a drink, you got to take a drink now because I've said it. So, the Solana moment goes like this. Earlier this year, I believe it was around August, the first time I really took notice of Solana. It was trading at like $5-7, and then it peaked at like 240 a few months later. It's a pretty big gain. Phantom has not yet had the Solana moment, which is why I'm so bullish on it. Phantom has seen substantial growth. It really has. I think it's like $7 billion market cap, something like that. Solana is in like the 40s to $50 billion mark. And so I think there is considerable growth left for Phantom. I really do believe in it as a chain. The Phantom Foundation as a team who are developing it are fantastically talented and communicative. And so I just can't wait for that Solana moment. And ladies and gentlemen, there's the Solana moment meme. And no doubt, if it's the first time you've heard it, it's not going to be the last time you've heard it. I'm hoping we can turn it into a thing so that when the Solana moment does come, everyone can say, Prometheus told you guys, and I can become famous for it. That would be amazing. Hey, Big Idol, I appreciate that. And I'm sure Eric does as well. Bringing awareness is one of the things that we really try to focus on. Both of us, I guess. It's a journey, right? There's always going to be someone else who needs to learn something. But the dedication to the community, I think, is what drives this project, and it's benefited us in an enormous way so far, and we aim to continue to keep doing that. So thank you for the support. I read every single message of support, by the way, and they all mean a huge amount to me. I try to respond to all of them. I think Eric may be having a few technical difficulties, so I'll cover for him. I'm going to scroll up. Oh, he's back. There he is. I found him. Where did you go, man?
You found me back from the ether. But yes, the thing that I like about this is that you guys are transparent as far as I'm concerned, and you're actually out here growing. And I look at things a different way. I sit there and go, okay, you have to jump through all these hoops in order to stake your coin. And you still are getting millions of dollars worth of investments from people to put into the bonding, the staking. And to me, that speaks volumes, because people generally, as a human being, they will jump over one hoop. They may even jump over two. But when you start having to jump through three or four and you don't understand it to begin with, usually that's where the dead ends come up. And the fact that people are willing to jump through all these hoops, the fact that people are willing to be on Discord and help other people out, that in itself creates a situation where you're having a groundswell. And then each time you do something like the Surtech, like when you guys are sitting there doing the Assure for the KYC, when you start doing this bond staking 4-4, each time you do these steps, and now with the Hector Bank situation that's going to be coming out, each one of those steps creates a groundswell, and it's almost like it's going to burst at the seams. People are just like, I want in, but I can't do it because I'm in New York. I can't do it because I'm in Washington State, or whatever the case may be, where they can't get on exchanges. That is something that's pretty major. And I think that's what the Solana moment ultimately is going to end up being, where it's almost like the faucet, water's running, faucet is being turned off on the other side where the water can't come through, and on the back the bubble is just getting larger and larger and larger. And I think that's what's going to happen, and that is in itself why I'm very bullish. We're going to have to talk about a few other things because he's only got about another 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Hassan Shah's in the house with more melons. Welcome to the SSN Nation afternoon live stream, and more melons. Thank you. Altcoin Crypto Tree, thank you so much for being here. Great show. I don't know if he's going to be able to answer this question because the Hector Bank isn't out yet, but everybody, when they do the loans and do the farm lending and things like that, generally do that 25, 50, 75, 100. And I'm just going to say this, Prometheus doesn't have anything to do with this, but when it comes to, when you start thinking about, because it's going to come a day when you're going to be able to wrap your SHEC, borrow against it. That's going to probably come in less than 24 hours. I wouldn't be surprised if it's already here, because you can wrap, and you're going to be able to borrow 25, 50, 75%, or almost 100. Just so you guys know, don't entertain 75%. Do not entertain 50%. Do not entertain 25. Be somewhere around 10 to 15%. SSN Nation rules. All right. Do not over leverage yourself, because when we have a flash crash, which just happened recently, markets dropped, even if it's just for 30 seconds to a minute, where it drops 20, 25%, 40 or 50%, you could be liquidated. Not to say the coins stay at that 50% level or 70% level than it previously was, but you would be liquidated. All the SHEC gone from a rebase. Your SHEC is very valuable, ladies and gentlemen. It's rebasing every 8 hours. You do not want to even risk losing that. So therefore, if you're going to start doing this leveraging by borrowing against, do not put yourself in that situation. All right, Prometheus, I'll let you discuss any of that if you want to talk about it. But
yeah, I mean, the lend to value numbers are things that we are experimenting with. You know, the meme in the community is that we test things obsessively. We do. We test and we test and we test and we test, because 99% is not good enough. It has to be perfect.
That's right.
You know, suffice to say that every single opportunity and eventuality for those lending to value numbers, we are going to experiment with them. And if it works, it works. Nothing is off the table. Now, obviously, intuitively, you can assume that certain numbers will be better than others, right? But, you know, we test everything. So more information will come, obviously, eventually. And we're putting together a pretty large marketing push for that. But it's nice to see people asking the detailed questions. I'm really glad about that.
Exactly. Because everybody can see here from what you're doing, everybody can see that this is a game changer, what you guys have done so far. And with the Hector Bank, I think is a game changer as well. And this just means whenever you do game changing type of things, a lot of people can benefit from this. And I call it OCs, ordinary citizens. Win AMA Pump, Mr. Softy AA, thank you for being here in the SSN Nation afternoon live stream. Leah Dennis, part of the SSN Nation with the icon next to her name. Thank you so much for being here on the SSN Nation afternoon live stream. Good evening, SSN fam, and special hello to Prometheus. Heck to the moon. That's right. That's what I like to hear. After learning about DeFi with Shiba Swap, Big Idol, welcome. I migrated to Heck yesterday because this is where the action is. Started with 100 Heck, and I'm going to be part of the community. Awesome, Big Idol. Welcome to the party. That's all I can say. Okay, we got about 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see. I am Lur. Hey, what's up, Heck gang? See, Prometheus, you brought a whole bunch of people over here today. M.A. Cardin. Riding my position through bear market. Hell, yes, you better. You're still getting those rebases, my man. And remember, at a lower price. And everybody that's doing the 4-4, all this is good. How does bonding help the Hector DAO treasury? Isaac say. All right, Prometheus, let us know.
Yeah, so when you bond, let's say you bond DAI, which is a coin which is pegged to the US dollar. So one DAI is $1. That will always be the case. Now, let's say you bond $100 worth of DAI. That means that those DAI tokens, those 100 DAI, will go into the treasury. So that is the interaction. Most of them will. Some of them are taken as fees to help us build up funds so we can do audits and pay people and all of that stuff. But for the most part, yeah, in general, you can just say as a simplification, they go straight into the treasury. And those treasury funds grow and grow and grow, which is why they'll never go down. Now, with volatile assets like Phantom, we do take Phantom bonds very occasionally. We don't take large amounts of them because we can't have a large amount of volatile assets because it's not a smart move, is it, for a treasury? Because if the price of Phantom drops, then we get wrecked.
Exactly.
So we do take small amounts of it. It's a very managed risk.
Beautiful.
The market value of those assets may drop, but our stable coins, the treasury balance will never go down, essentially. And that's where your bonds go.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, Gizu, welcome to the SSN Nation afternoon live stream. Prometheus does not need to answer, but I'm going to answer. Would be nice to see a face behind the voice in a project before we feel confident to put a substantial amount in the project. So Gizu, I can agree with you on some things, but here's the thing. If you got KYC from Assure, if you're having other things where the project is working, I understand you want to see who the team is, but I'm going to say something. When you invest, whether it's real estate, whether it's stocks, whether it's other crypto projects, even if you see their face, know who the team is. That still does not guarantee success. Even the best of them have failed on projects. Even the best of them have failed to deliver what they would say. So therefore, the thing is, as far as I see, when you start saying, I need to see a face behind something, I don't look at faces, because if you go by somebody telling you, hey, buy this, and you think there's somebody special and it fails, there's so many projects that people are well-known billionaires and millionaires have backed, have been the face of, and it has failed. That does not guarantee success. What guarantees success is when somebody tells me they're going to give me 10% return on my money, and they give me 10% return on my money, that's all I care about. If the guy is in a room somewhere like the Wizard of Oz, as long as I'm getting my 10%, we have nothing to talk about. And the fact that I can see his face is irrelevant, because if something fails that I invested in from outside of the crypto world, I'm going to go file a lawsuit against that person. And that person is not the person. A company is the person. You guys got to understand, this doxing thing to me is not even, it's short-sighted. That's just a way for somebody to say, well, okay, I don't believe in it. That's fine. You don't have to invest in it. But those who do believe will invest a little bit more. And again, you should only invest what you are willing to lose. I don't know if Prometheus want to talk about that. I think we'll leave that to him.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the call for doxing. Absolutely, I do. But, I have seen dox teams rug pull projects. I think more important is the liquidity locked? In this case, it is. Do they use multi-signature authentication? In this case, we do.
Right.
Is the project audited? Yes, we're being audited by Certic. Now, I know that these things don't answer the question fully, and I'm not going to say I will never dox myself. Maybe I will. I just think right now it's unnecessary, and the risk outweighs the reward right now. I'm not saying that will always be the case, though. If that changes, then obviously the logical thing to do would be for me to dox myself. Maybe I will. Who knows what the future holds? I'm not against it ideologically. I just think right now it's not a smart move.
Exactly. I don't think it's wise in this environment. And the fact of the matter is, everything is working perfectly. Like I said, I don't really care who's running it, as long as the guys are saying what they're doing and doing what they're saying. And the fact that you're even bringing in the surtax and all the other items that can help a person determine if this is real or not, I think is already above and beyond what you need to do. So it's a good thing. All right, we're gonna have to let Prometheus go. I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let you give a going away present, so to speak, if you want to say anything. But I want to go through something. Just give me about 15 seconds, because here goes. I wanted to get a couple of questions right here. If you can read it, any thoughts on the concerns with USDT Tether, how this would affect Hector and other assets, and I'll let you read that. But there's also something you said the other day. I forgot to mention this, where you said that the bonds were actually separate. You touched upon it in your last statement, but just reiterate, the bonds are separate. So therefore, you don't have a cause and effect. If something happens with one, it doesn't have an effect with the other.
Yeah, so when you bond, the price that you bond, the discount you bond is locked at that point. And so, as the bond ratios change, it just means that you don't need to worry about, liquidation would never happen in this case because there's no borrowing involved, but you don't need to worry about being wrecked by price action. And in terms of, let's say that just something happens with the markets and, phantom drops, Heck is completely withdrawn from that. Now, obviously, we're in a bit of a dip with crypto at the minute in general, and that's reflected in our price action as well. Almost every project in the world, I would imagine, has been at the mercy of this. But we're a long-term project. The question becomes less about price and more, do you believe in the team? Have they delivered? Do you think there is a space in the market for the project? If you can answer yes to all three of those, then I'm not a financial advisor, but I would say that the answer should be fairly clear to you at that point.
Exactly. I agree. And then one last one, and then I'll let you go, because this is actually what I wanted. Does Heck have any plans to get listed on any big exchange? And I'm going to take it one step further. Here's what I say. You guys are big dogs in reality at this point, even though by market share or whatever, maybe not the top dogs. But to me, I sat there the other day, I was talking with somebody and I was like, heck, these guys can just buy an exchange. I was like, or create their exchange. And I'll say one last thing, Prometheus, before I let you go. Remember in 2008, 2009, I was an online poker player. And then the United States government blocked us from being able to load money up and take money out of the poker rooms. And so this guy sends me over something going, hey, you can use this new thing called Bitcoin. And I was like, what are you talking about? So I bought like $10 worth of Bitcoin. And I bought it by sending the guy a PayPal. And then he sent me back some string of numbers and some words and stuff and weird stuff that didn't make any sense. To this day, I don't know where any of that is. But the point I was trying to make is we were still able to buy it directly. So is there anything about buying? Why can't we just buy HEC directly somehow, like it's 2009, 2010 all over again? And why haven't you guys actually made a deal where Heck is on an exchange so people can just go in on the Phantom network and withdraw it to our MetaMask or Trust Wallet or whatever else? And that'll be it.
Definitely two roadmap items. We are on Hotbit, which means that you can natively withdraw your Hector tokens via the Phantom chain to a wallet. So that's the first step in that.
Hotbit. Okay.
I imagine the question is going to be when Binance, which I love that question. We're looking into it, is all I'll say on that. Now, Binance is a big, big challenge to get listed there. Trust me, it is. The kinds of money you're talking about for listing fees are just absurd in most cases. Yeah. And look, it's Binance. Obviously, right. It's you're talking about the Ferrari of exchanges here, or Lamborghini if you're a crypto enthusiast, I guess. And so yes, we are looking into that. Now we've also got a partnership with Yoshi Exchange. maybe in the future there is a prospect that you could just buy HEC tokens from Yoshi Exchange using your Visa card. It's not impossible that happens. And we can speak with their technical team and see if we can make that happen if there's a big enough demand for it. Absolutely.
There's a big enough demand for it.
I think there may be, yeah. I get that question quite a lot, so I think there may be.
If you cross that bridge, let's just put you in the perspective of you will be in the top. I don't know what your ranking is right now, but all I'm saying is top 5, top 10. I don't know, but you'll be in the top 5 at that point overnight in 48 hours. I guarantee you. All right, Prometheus, thank you so much for being here and sharing your time and your good graces and giving us this great information. So if there's anything you want to say on the way out, please do so now. And I thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I would just touch on a question I saw in the chat that I would like to answer very briefly. Someone mentioned Tether Bonds.
Yes.
Now, Tether is controversial. I would encourage people to go and research why Tether is controversial. But there are some questions as to whether Tether coins are actually backed by real dollars. And there's all kinds of rumors. Personally, I am of the cautious persuasion on that particular issue. I don't know whether Tether is backed or not. What I do know is that there is a risk that it's not backed. And a risk is not something I want to introduce to HEC. I know that it's not something the team wants to introduce to HEC. And so the community has also been very clear on that as well. We asked the community if they wanted USDT bonds, and they said no, resoundingly. And so it's not on the table right now. Now, let's say something changes. I'm not going to say it is ideologically never going to happen because, situations change. If we come to a point where the kind of global trust of Tether is at an all-time high and everything's fine, yeah, maybe we will do it. But just to answer that question, yeah, we're not going to be involved with Tether for a little while at least. And then to move on to the goodbyes, I guess. Thank you so much for having me. It's been my pleasure. It really has. I love the energy. I love the enthusiasm. It's been a really fun one. Thank you to everybody who's watching as well, whether you're watching it live or you're catching it on delay. Join our community. It's a wonderful place to be. I think many of you in the audience may have already joined or maybe about to join. So jump in, say hello, introduce yourself, and I guarantee you'll get a lot of, a flurry of messages welcoming you to the community. And obviously you can send me a DM and I answer every single message that is sent to me. It takes time though, but I will answer a message if you send it to me. I guarantee you that. Right now at this point, obviously, if we get to a stage where I'm getting 10,000 a day, it gets a bit harder to do that. But right now I will answer any message you send to me.
Beautiful. Well, thank you once again for being here, Prometheus. And it was a pleasure having you in the SSN Nation for the evening, the afternoon, the morning, depending on where people are. And so with that said, we're still going to be here afterwards because that's what we do here in the SSN Nation. When he leaves, we're going to talk. We have discussions. So he mentioned his community, the Hector DAO. Down below in the description, I have links to the Discord group. I have links to the .com website. I have links to the Twitter as well, all down below the video. So you can get there now, ladies and gentlemen, and join in on the melons. Get your melons with the Hector team. And I'll see you later, Prometheus. Thank you so much.
Take care. It was my pleasure. Thanks for listening, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.